the targeted individual experience. It's uh, it's been a while since I did a video because it was the summer and the kids were out of school and they were with me. I would say 95% of the time. So it was just too crowded in my house and a lot of noise, so couldn't make a video or even do my weekly show on Talk Shoe. Now, this summer has been pretty interesting in terms of the targeting. There's been a lot of heavy targeting during the summer. A lot of remote neural monitoring, a lot of harassment from the police and their perps in the community who work with the police to target, surveil, harass TIs. And so now that the kids are back in school, I'm able to do a video again. And, I'm not going to make this too long, but just to let people know what's going on. So what TIs are put into, besides the non-consensual human experimentation, is a coercive persuasion program. And that coercive persuasion program is meant to silence TIs from coming forward and speaking out against the non-consensual human experiment program. Now, the perps, the perpetrators, the police, the government agencies who are responsible for this, they will have the community target TIs. And to do this, they have to select who they are going to experiment on. They'll have to condition that individual negatively using the coercive persuasion program along with dark NLP. And the dark NLP is used to create negative emotions and a negative mindset within the TI's mind. It is done to set the TI out to commit some sort of so-called crime and then use that or whatever they feel they have on the TI to silence them. Okay, to blackmail them into silence, to use that as a bargaining tool to say, well, if you talk about what we're doing, we're going to put you in jail or we're going to institutionalize you. Okay, if you have been advertently negatively affected by the mind control coercive persuasion program. So then they will try to lock you up. Because it's all about control. It's about experimenting on you and trying to control you into silence. Okay? So again, the kids started school. My daughter started pre-K. And, it's a new school. And first day of school. And they have perpetrators outside the school along with the parents of other children who goes to the same school as my daughter targeting me. Yesterday I went to pick up my daughter. And this little girl who used to go to the babysitter that my daughter goes to, she was there with her father. And so as I was walking down the hall, getting ready to make a left to go into her classroom, this little girl walks up to me, leaves her father aside, walks up to me and said to me, "You're a big baby," and then walked back to her father. Now, as I think I've said this before, people who are in cult and are engaged in cult behavior, their children are more likely to also engage in cult behavior. So they are passing down their cult behavior to this little 4-year-old girl. Okay? And so I just had to shake my head and just look at her father and just with disgust. Like, you understand what you're putting your child through, how their mindset is going to be when they grow up, that they're going to think it's okay to bully, to harass another person. Okay? And so, and that's just one thing. Another thing is that they've been sending me subliminal message about going to jail if I engage in any type of sexual activity. And so, they have like women, even the women in my family, my sisters, when they walk in front of me, they put their hand behind their back with their palm facing out towards me. And even my two youngest, their mothers started exhibiting the same behavior too, and started acting very cold towards me, and and I pick up off the vibe from her, and so one night I said, let me see what happens. So I came from behind her and I gave her a hug, and immediately the police siren started going off. Immediately, and all throughout the night. Okay? All throughout the night. So again, being surveilled by the police in your home or someone else's home, they are illegally surveilling me. And I don't care what excuses they may try to have, or whether it's legal or not. I don't see any reason why it would be to legally surveil someone if they're engaged in a private activity, right, inside their home or inside anybody's home. You have no right to do that. But these people, as a TI, we have no privacy. And that's the thing that I want people to understand, that as a TI, we have no privacy. Okay? So now they're trying to cause a rift between me and her. Okay? So what I found out is that, I guess, she's been talking to guys and stuff like that, and I noticed that every time she acts cold towards me, that is always the reason, and I always find out, because like I said, I noticed the change in her behavior, okay, and when I notice those things, I know what's up, okay, and like I said, I have my ways, but I find out things, and so, I said, okay, that's the reason why. But you see, that's the whole thing. When the coercive persuasion program, there are certain things that they do, okay? And one of those things is that if you are married or you in a relationship, they will attempt to break up your marriage or break up your relationship. And I guess I would say a lot of the times they are successful when it comes to doing those things to TIs. And so one of the things that they do, and is that. Another thing is that they love to send you subliminal message. And again, like I was saying, they were trying to send me subliminal message about not having sex and stuff like that. We're going to jail, so they start using the police. The woman would walk in front of me, or if they walk in front of me, they would place one of their hands behind their back with their palm facing towards me, and they will grab their buttocks, right? So picture this, a person walking in front of you. If you're a man, it's a woman, and they will put their hands behind, one of their hands behind their back with their palm facing outwards towards you, and then they will grab their behind, right? And I notice these things, and that's a form of conditioning, right? So whatever negative subliminal message they're trying to send me, this is the trigger, okay, for the implantation or the brainwashing that they've done to my mind. So when they do certain things, there are certain things that I think about, or there's a thought that comes in there, or a word or a phrase that comes into my mind, or a feeling, a negative feeling that comes into my mind, because those things are triggered. And that is where the NLP comes in, the dark NLP comes in. When they trigger you, it's because they can do it because you have been brainwashed, okay, against your will. Okay, so they have injected, these thoughts and feelings into your mind, and they trigger. Once you're triggered, those thoughts and those negative feelings, arise within you. And so another thing whenever they're trying to send me subliminal message about being arrested and being thrown in jail, They always use the police, stuff like that. You know, another thing also is that they will use people in this case, Facebook friends. If you're on social media, if they can, if they trying to send you a subliminal message, and let's say you don't get it because you don't respond the way they expect you to respond, they will do it another way. They will use another way. So like I said, trying to send me a subliminal message this past 2 weeks about being thrown in jail, what have you, and if I engage in any kind of sexual activity or what have you. And so 2 days ago, I get a message on Facebook. Now this is from someone who I grew up with. I used to DJ. I used to be a DJ. I was a teenager in my early teens, and he was one of the person that we would DJ together and stuff like that, right? And so we've been on Facebook. We've been full day friends for probably a couple years now. Never once had this guy personally send me a message through Facebook. When he posts something, it shows up on my timeline, but never. But again, this week, because of the heavy targeting and trying to send me those type of negative subliminal messages, so he sends me a video of, and the way that he did it, because I probably wouldn't have even paid any mind, is that, there was a Hurricane Irma, and he puts on the Irma devastation Trinidad. But it has nothing to do with the hurricane. It has to do with these two guys fighting in a jail cell. I'm gonna just play the video. Hopefully you'll see it. I don't know how to make the video any bigger. Let me see if I can do a URL and see what happens. Okay, let me close that. But anyway, I can't get it to open up any larger. So I'm just gonna play the video so you can hear it.
My seed, you putting in your mouth in my business, but you have no weed. Oh, you don't I know weed like it's a fucking asshole.
Now they're arguing about weed, right? And this is how this is a Trinidadian dialect. But I want you to listen. Like again, when they start sending me subliminal messages of being thrown in jail, this is type of the subliminal message that they want to send me, and they'll use a third party to do it. Okay. So at first, when I played the video, I couldn't really hear what they were saying. So when I turned up the volume, I didn't even know where they were. Okay.
Real life thing in a jailhouse, the thing.
Then he goes, real life thing in a jailhouse. I mean, again, this is how they send TIs subliminal messages. Okay, and I'm glad they did this because I always like to show example of what they do. And this is a good example of them sending me a subliminal message after they've been using the police to harass me. Okay? After they've been using the police to harass me repeatedly, they will have someone send me some sort of video. And I don't know if his account has been hacked and they send it. But like I said, I have never received any messages from this person from the couple of years we've been Facebook friends. Yet, I get a message with this video in there. Okay? And so like I said, on top of this, again, with the heavy targeting, with the heavy harassment from the police, about being arrested and being thrown in jail or have you, they send me something like this, right? So again, just another example. And I'm not the only one, the only TI who they're doing this to, because I noticed that when I'm heavily targeted, every other TI is heavily targeted. So I went on to Facebook and see who posted any videos of being heavily targeted or increase in targeted. And Toy who was a TI. I think she's in California. So I'm looking at one of her videos and it says increase of targeting, and she posted this a week ago. So I know there are other TIs out there who I guess being targeted very heavy over the summer, and there must be a reason, because these perpetrators, I guess, feel that they have an opportunity to target TIs in the most aggressive way. Okay? So I guess maybe they don't care now about being discovered or exposed for whatever reason. I guess their confidence level is pretty high right now because the way that they're heavily targeting me and others. But I just wanted to give that example, okay? And I was going to do a video on Wednesday, but I was too tired, so I wasn't going to do it. But I'm doing it today because, again, just to let other TIs know and other people who are non-TIs what it is that they do, by giving an example of how they send subliminal message. And if you don't react a certain way, they will use a more kind of direct but indirect way. As with the video, like I said, they're using the police and they see I'm not reacting to the police harassment anymore. So now I get a video, a message with a video, with two guys in jail, one guy talking about this is jailhouse life and all this stuff. But that's to tell you. That's to tell you what it is that they're doing and how they send TIs, people like me, who've been put into a non-consensual human experimentation program, who have been put into a coercive mind control program, a coercive persuasion program, and that is being used to silence me because I'm speaking out against what they're doing, and so now they use these form of threats, So and I wanted to bring up the site again, the psychological harassment, because I want people to know what is going on. Okay, and so let me get to this part here. Where it's okay, and this basically used to intimidate me, right? That sort of thing. So and that's tactic 7 that they use, which is to intimidate the person with the force of group-sanctioned secular psychological threats. For example, it may be suggested or implied that failure to adopt the approved attitude, which is me being silent about what it is that they're doing, okay, a belief or consequent behavior will lead to severe punishment or dire consequences such as physical or mental illness. Now, I have stopped seeing my psychiatrist because the last time I went, he was targeting me very heavily with the hand signals. It was very, very blatant, very blatant. His hands was all over the damn place. He wasn't touching me, but his hands was all over himself, touching all over himself, touching his nose, his ears, all over himself. And I was like, wow, this guy is really doing this. So from that point, I was like, you know what, I'm not seeing this guy anymore, and I'm looking for a secular therapist who I can talk to, right? So it says the reappearance of a prior physical illness, drug dependence, economic collapse, social failure, divorce, disintegration, and I don't mean literally disintegration, it means taking you or removing you from society, failure to find a mate, etc. Okay, and that failure to find a mate is that if you are in a relationship, they will destroy your relationship. They will bring in another person to talk to your significant other in the hopes of breaking or driving a wedge within between you and your significant other, or you and your girlfriend, or you and your boyfriend. Okay? This is what they do. And it says here, these tactics of psychological force are applied to such a severe degree that the individual capacity to make informed or free choice becomes inhibited. So when you're being put through this, you, especially with the mind control and the remote neural monitoring, a lot of the times you have to question the choices that you make because you don't know if it's you're making that choice or you're being conditioned to make those choices, or you have been conditioned to make certain choices, okay, or certain decisions that will be detrimental to you or that will negatively impact you. Okay? All right? So, so it says the victims become unable to make the normal, wise, and balanced decision that they most likely or normally would have made had they not been unknowingly manipulated by these coordinated technological processes. And it's true. It is very true. It says the cumulative effect of these processes can be even more effective form of undue influence than pain, torture, drugs, or the use of physical force and physical and legal threats, which is what they do all the time. Using the police, stuff like that, to harass me. And again, sending me some video about some jail fun time, what have you, whenever they want to send me subliminal message about me being arrested or going to jail. Okay? And particularly, for some reason, they don't want me to engage in any type of sexual activity. Like, what I do is none of your business. As long as I'm not harming anybody, or anybody for that matter, harming anybody, what they do, whether they have sex or not have sex, that's their business. Stay out of people's business. Because you don't like it, you wouldn't like it if somebody was in your business telling you when you can have sex or when you cannot have sex. Simple as that. Okay? So, let me finish this video. I'll be right there. Okay? I mean, this is ridiculous. These people trying to control our lives, okay, under the false notion or the false pretense of what they're being told. Okay? When basically this is about control. This is about experimenting on people and trying to control them into silence. And trying to control their behavior or their thought patterns. We talk about the thought police. This is what we're going through here. And now I guess they want to be the sex police. They want to regulate when you can have sex and when you cannot have sex. Even between two mutually consenting adults. That's what boggles my mind. Because those same people who are perpetrating you, who are targeting you, if someone goes to them and say, hey, you can no longer have sex. Okay, imagine what they would say. Or even what they would do. Okay? I mean, it is ridiculous what these people think. It is like, sometimes I think we live in a friggin' upside down, opposite time day world, with these people, because their mentality is a danger to a civilized society, to a free thinking society. Because in this society, they don't want you to think freely. That's why you have all these perps out there, the people in your community who are targeting you as a TI, because they don't have an individual thinking mind. They have a hive mind. Okay? And for TIs, I want you guys to look at the Leah Remini special on A&E called Scientology. And a lot of the tactics that the Church of Scientology uses on its members and ex-members, particularly with the surveillance and stuff like that, is the exact same tactics that's being used on us. And that just to show you that they also engage in coercive persuasion program, and they use it on their member and those who have left their organization. Okay? And so what we are dealing here is religious fanatics who are in positions of power, who can and have created programs like this in order to control people or to experiment on people, right? Make no mistake about it. Religion plays a big part of how and why they're targeting you. You know, I'm not talking about the experimental part, but the psychological coercive persuasion program and those who engage in it, those who participate in it, okay, those who use those tactics to harm, to psychologically harm and physically harm a TI. Religion plays a big part in why they're doing this or why they're taking part in this. Make no mistake about it. Okay, so I'm going to end the video right here. I will be doing a show. I don't know if it will be today or next week. Listen, get back over there. Come on, get back over there. Thank you. Excuse my daughter. She just wants to be all in the video. You know, that's kids for you. But anyway, yeah. You know, it is ridiculous, and you know, we got to continue to fight as TIs. We got to continue to stand up for ourselves, and for those who cannot stand up for themselves. You know, we got to stand up for future generations of people or future TIs who will be placed into these sort of programs. You know, to let them know that they're not the only one that's going through this. They're not the only one who's being put through this. Okay? It's not in their mind. You know, they are being externally put through a psychological process that is meant to destroy their mental capacity, to destroy their free will and free thinking ability. And so, you know, by doing this, by doing these videos, by doing my show, I'm in hopes that, you know, someone would look at it, someone would listen to it, and if those same things are being done, they can use these videos as a reference to say, hey, this person had been through or going through the same thing that I'm going through, and I have been through. You know, I mean, that has helped me a lot. Where I go on other TI's website and read what they wrote and realize that, hey, I'm going through the same thing too, and taking their advice and using that to help me survive, you know, being put in this program. Okay? And so, you know, we as TIs, we can never leave hope. You know, I know the perps, because I haven't done a video for the summer, they thought or was thinking that, well, you know, we shut them up. No, you haven't. Okay? And the TIs, if they try to make you believe that by being silent or not speaking about what they're doing, your targeting is going to stop, it is not. They're just going to keep reminding you that if you don't shut up, if you don't talk about what's being done to you, then, you know, somehow, I guess, you're not going to be institutionalized, or you're not going to go to jail, or you're going to have a mate, or you're going to have a job, or what have you. But listen, I don't let anybody hang anything over my head. Okay? And I'm the wrong person to try to blackmail into silence. That's not going to work. I'm not that person. Okay? So let's not get it twisted. I am not that person. And neither will my kids be those type of people. Okay?